Hello YouTube, hello boys and girls. Welcome back to my Hearts of Iron 3 Let's Play. I'm playing Germany. Time passes on. Currently it's July 31st, 1936. The time will pass slowly while I'm talking. So, I wanted to ask you, would you like me to play with some mods maybe? I was trying out the World War I mod and it looks quite interesting. Everything is different. The only difference actually is I don't know the events behind the World War I so well. So it should be a little bit harder for me to predict my future enemies, but I know the basics and I can play it quite well without problems. So if you are interested in some mods, it doesn't have to be a World War I. Any mod that you would like to see, feel free to post a comment down below and I will play it. On the other side I also have a Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour was originally made as a mod for Hearts of Iron 2, so it shares the same engine with Hearts of Iron 2. It's a much older game than this one, but it's a Hearts of Iron still. Much deeper, much more events, much more decisions you have to do. It's a little bit tougher to play, and what I like is a time period. You can play from 1914. And I think that game ends somewhere around 1950 or 1960. So you have around 20 or 30 years time period to play. You can really change the history and influence the world in a many different ways. So if you want me to see playing that game, feel free to post a comment down below and I will do it. I need to lower my espionage since I already have 91 free spies, and I will invest that leadership into officers. My officer ratio have dropped around 125. That's because I have some units to deploy, and as I already said in a previous recording, each division that you deploy needs one amount of officers. Let's see what units I have. Destroyers and 2 divisions of armor brigade, light armor, motorized brigade, motorized infantry brigade, and the self-propellered artillery. When I was starting this custom start game, I forgot to position and deploy my navy, so I'm without a navy at all. But I'm building one. I'm building destroyers in a combination with battleships. My battleship technology is at 1936 level. I think I will not research beyond of that, because the problem with the battleship is you need some time to research the technology and you need tons of time. I think around 2 years to build a battleship. So if I research all those tech now, want to improve my battleships, this battleship that I'm currently building will not have those technologies. So I need to wait for my technologies to get on a level that I want them, and then I need 2 extra years to finish the battleship. That's the problem. So I will not research battleship technologies, but my destroyer techs are also at 1936, and I can improve them because they can research quite fast. This number that you can see here, number 1, green, 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 number 1, that is difficulty level for researching that technology. So you have a multiplier. For example, destroyer technology, you can see that I was talking about theory practical in a previous recording. To research, let's say, destroyer main armament, there is naval engineering, practical, fleet in being doctrine, naval engineering theory and fleet in being doctrine theory, and destroyer practical. Those three will influence the speed of researching the technology. But on the other side, you also have a multiplier, which will be multiplied by that, and that will influence your speed. So no matter how good your practicals and theory is, technology that have a higher difficulty level will be researched slower. If you take a look at the assault ships, it have a number 10 in red. That means that this technology is really hard to research. It needs only a naval engineering theory. So no matter how high your naval engineering is, research time will get multiplied by 10. So it's really hard technology, and you will need a lot of time to research it. Destroyer technologies are easy ones, so they will be researched much faster than battleship technologies, which have a difficulty level of 3. So if you didn't know what that number means, that is a difficulty level, a multiplier that will be multiplied by your research speed. Alright, now you know that. Now let's deploy my divisions. I want my destroyers anywhere. Let's say over here in Kiel, Germany. It will be my first fleet. First DD. DD is a shortcut for destroyers. BB is a shortcut for battleships. All that shortcuts you can find on Hearts of Iron 3 wiki page. So don't hesitate to check out that link. I will give you a link in the description. So please take a look at the description, check out the links that I gave you, and I'm sure you will find something useful. Let's deploy my Panzer divisions. First army, we have 8 corps. That's the name of the corps, 8 corps. We have 3 infantry divisions over here, and I want to assign those armor divisions also. So let's assign it to 8 corps. And that's it. Each corps can have 5 divisions. And what I recommend you to do it is to assign the leaders for that technology, because when you assign a leader to a division, corps, army group or theater, their organization will be dropped by a 50%. No matter how high it is, it will drop by 50%. If you take a look, let's say this infantry division, you will see that each brigade have 1 orange and 1 green bar. Orange is the strength and green is organization. If, let's say, you forgot what each bar means, you can just mouse over the brigade and you can see in a tooltip that first number is strength, second one is organization, then you have experience, then you have infantry warfare, the model 1936, mass assault model 1936. So first number is strength. That means this first orange bar is strength, while second bar is organization. You can see that this brigade have full strength and full organization. Let's now click on this newly deployed armor division. If I mouse over those bars right now, you can see that strength is 2,999 out of 3,000. So strength is full. But if you take a look at the organization, you can see that organization is currently at 6.38 out of the maximum 54.86. So that is organization. Just mouse over each brigade and you will see in a tooltip everything that you need to know. You can also see a light tank gun, light tank engine, light tank armor, light tank reliability. What those stats means, if you go in a technology screen and mouse over the light tank technologies, you can see that you have a light tank gun, light tank armor, light tank engine and light tank reliability. You can see we have a year of 1940. That is the next technology that you can research. So currently we have one level less, and that's 1938. Let's mouse over the armor brigade again. You can see that light tank gun, you have a model of 1938, light tank engine is 1938, light tank armor and light tank reliability all are at 1938. If I research those technologies now, my tanks will be upgraded at 1940 technologies. And there is a one neat feature. Let's say you want these two divisions to be upgraded first. You have this little star up here. If you mouse over it, you can see that 0 out of 2 selected units have priority for upgrades and reinforcements. If I click on it, you can see that 2 out of 2 selected units have a priority for upgrades. That means that those two divisions will get upgrades first, before all others. I will turn that off because I want all divisions to get upgraded at the same time. You can of course turn off the upgrades and reinforcements. So first one is star, and you have two more buttons. Second in the middle, you can see that 2 out of 2 selected units will receive reinforcements. If I don't want these two divisions to get reinforcements, I will turn that off. So now those two divisions will not get any kind of reinforcements, and I can also turn off the upgrades. So now both of these divisions will not get any kind of reinforcements and will not get any kind of upgrades. I will recommend you to keep reinforcements always on, and you can turn off the upgrades if you want to spare your industrial capacity. Why? If you go in a production screen, you can see that you can invest one amount of your industrial capacity into upgrades. If you're low on industrial capacity, I will rise that up. If you're low on industrial capacity, for example, you can turn off the upgrades for units that you don't need. For example, I am planning a war against Poland. So those divisions over here should get a priority. So I can click on this star, and all 30 out of 30 selected units have priority for upgrades. But I can do one extra thing. If I want to spare my industrial capacity, I can select these units over here and turn the upgrades off. So those units will not get upgrades at all, and by that I'm sparing my industrial capacity for upgrades. I think that I have explained you that quite well. So let's turn on the upgrades. Back, I must select, let's say for example, those 3 units over here. Those 3 units over here, I turn off the upgrades. And let's say that in a few years you forgot what units have turned off the upgrades. All you must have to do is select, let's select all divisions, for example. And if you mouse over this button now, you can see that 53 out of 57 selected units will receive upgrades. So I don't have to search for those units to give them upgrades again. All I have to do is select all divisions and press that button, now it's turned off. 0 out of 57 selected units will receive upgrades. But if I press it again, now you can see that 57 out of 57 selected units will receive upgrades. Let's select those 3 again. Upgrades are turned on. Quite useful feature. Inefficient research. Alright, I forgot to remove some technologies from the queue. I don't want to research ahead of the time. Let's remove armored car gun and armored car armor. Agriculture is also a technology that I am researching ahead of the time, but never mind, I will keep it. Alright, I have enough leadership to do it. Let's unpause the game again. And since I have quite a lot of leadership, my officer number is almost at maximum. Maximum is 140%. So I will leave the officer distribution for now. But later, when I reach 140% officers, I will have to lower down this slider. I have one more Panzer division to deploy. This corps is full with 3 infantry divisions and 2 armor divisions. This one have only infantry. This one have only armor. Let's check out where I need more armor divisions. No, I don't need them at the moment, but I will wait for those other divisions to get finished. Wanna raise my supply slider. Consumer goods. Correct everything. Alright, that's it. Let's see. Yeah, nationalist Republican Spain won the war. Let's check out my influence. Who am I influencing? I don't wanna. Yeah, Republican Spain will definitely drift toward the Allies. They share same ideology, and they're probably influenced. No, they're not influenced by United Kingdom. Let's check out who else can I influence. Hungary, Romania, Switzerland and Sweden. They are using their diplomatic influence to align toward me, so I'm not wasting my leadership for diplomacy to influence them. If you're not sure, are you influencing them or not? Let's take a look. Switzerland, for example. Swiss. You can see that influence nation is gray. That's because Switzerland is already trying to drift toward us. But let's, for example, select the USA. USA, you can see that I can stop influencing a nation. But I don't want to do it. I want them to drift toward me. If I mouse over the USA over here, you can see that USA is mostly drifting toward Axis with a value of 4.9. USA is drifting toward Allies by 0.8 and toward Comintern 0.0. They share same ideology with Allies, but for that reason I'm using my spies. To support my party in their country. That way, in 1940, when they have an elections, if my party is strong enough, then my party will be ruling the USA and they will drift toward me even more because we will share same ideology. Quite simple. I can speed up the game now. As I said, I don't want to rush into a war. I can attack Poland immediately, but that will raise my threat toward all other nations, and nations that are important to me will start to drift away from me and will join the Allies. That way Allies will be more powerful, and I don't want that to happen. I'm not sure, did I? Yeah, you can see now. Yeah, now is the perfect time for showing you why you should assign your leaders to a division in a moment when you just deploy them. You can see that organization is rising slowly. Currently is almost at maximum, 36.26 out of 49. Let's give them a leader. So now organization is at 36. If I assign a leader to this Panzer division, you can see how this green bar have dropped by 50%, and current organization is 18.77. So you want to assign the leaders to your division just after the deployment, because that way their organization is at 0. So you will not lose organization after assigning a leader to that division. It makes sense. Now you can see that it has dropped, and if I change the leader one more time, if I, let's say, want this leader with a Fortress Buster trait, 4th attack plus 10%, organization will drop again by 50%. So you can really destroy the organization of your divisions if you are changing the leaders too often. The best way to assign a leader, the best time to assign the leader to your divisions is just after deployment. And why Fortress Buster? You can see that Czechoslovakia have forts on the border. Let's speed up. Speed up. I'm waiting for a 1937 so I can research new technologies, pausing the game. Interdiction tactics advance. That tech is probably ahead of the time, so let's remove it from the queue. Now I have even more leadership invested into officers. I'm waiting for year of 1937 because then I will be able to research 1938 technologies. You can research 1 year, only 1 year ahead of the time without getting a penalty. It's a September, and soon we will have the year of 1937, and I will have to add more technologies in a queue. Officer ratio is rising, is currently at 128. I have more divisions to deploy, more technologies are done with the research. I have paused the game right now. I even have 7 wasted IC. That's because of all my units got upgrades, and I can lower down the upgrade slider. I can lower down the consumer goods slider, and I will deploy my divisions now. I have 2 infantry divisions. No, this 8 corps I will remove those panzer divisions from the 8 corps. I want a separate corps with only armor divisions, and I want separate corps with only infantry divisions. So we'll remove those 2, pull them over here, and we'll deploy these infantry divisions and attach them to 8 corps. And now I will assign the leader. You can see that organization strength is full. Organization is at 0 out of 57.24. You can easily watch this recording in a full screen 1080p resolution, because That way it will be much easier for you to see all the numbers and letters on the screen. So let's assign a leader. When I am assigning my leaders, I always like to sort them by skill. So if I want a lower skill leader, I can easily scroll down and find it. For a division leaders, I always recommend you to pick one lower skill level between 2 or 3, because division leaders will get experience really fast and they can level up really fast. So it's not a problem if you have a divisional leader even at skill 1. But I will definitely not recommend you to use old guard leader for your divisions, because experience gain is then minus 50%. You can use old guard at theater level or at corps level for all those leaders that are not important for you to level up. I was already talking about leader skills and levels in one of the previous recording. You have annotation in the upper part of the screen for a full playlist, so feel free to check them out. Let's give this division a leader, this one, Fortress Buster, skill 2. Alright, and this one, same thing. Germany have huge amount of officers to choose from, so you don't have to be afraid that you will use all your good leaders because you want to save good leaders for something else. Later in game you will get even more good leaders, so no problem about it. So now I have 2 corps around Czechoslovakia with only infantry divisions. Let's unpause the game, playing at the almost not full speed but almost full speed. And we have an event, Surge of Volunteers. Our men of manly bearing are standing up and saying they are ready to fight for our country. I will get national manpower modifier plus 10%. So I have 2 unassigned panzer divisions here. Oh, I forgot to remove the technologies out from the queue. And I can lower down the research slider down to 7 while raising the officer slider up. You can see that descent is in red on the upper part of the screen. Red, that means you are gaining your descent, and descent is bad. So that means you have to invest more in a consumer goods. Correct that slider. Rise the supply slider, reinforcements, upgrades. That should be fine. Time to speed up again. The descent is still in red. That's probably a small bug. So let's give a consumer goods a little bit more than I need. And you can see that now this number is green. Let's deploy this Panzer division here and assign a leader. I will still not attach them to a corpse because each HQ are wasting your supplies and blah blah blah. I just don't have a need to assign those 3 Panzer divisions into a new HQ. Alright, time passes slowly. Speed is 1, 2, 3, 4 speed. 1 speed less than maximum. I'm wasting 2 of my industrial capacity. Let's correct the sliders. I'm waiting for more infantry divisions to build so I can deploy this infantry division that I have done. And I still must decide where to deploy them. This army is full. This corps is attached directly to the first army group. Let's change the name. If you zoom in, you can see that this HQ have first army name, and this HQ is first army group. You can see that on the left side, but I can see that I cannot see that this is a group. I can see only the name first army. I know this is the group because of number of the crosses. You can see I was talking about crosses also in one of the previous recordings. So first army have 1, 2, 3, 4 crosses. One HQ above them have 1 cross extra. So army have 4, army group have 5, and theater have 6. If you're going down in a chain, then corps have 3, division have 2, and in this menu on the left side you can see that each brigade have only 1 cross. So quite simple, and I will definitely recommend you to use the counters, not sprites, because counters are talking much more about division than sprites. Sprites will show you a unit of a soldier or something else, but you still cannot know what type of division that is. Let's try to test that out. Can I change to sprites right now? Game options, video, use counters. I will turn it off, apply, and you can see that now I have soldiers. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. So this soldier have 1 flag. That means it's I just cannot. You don't know, is this a division or what? You have 3 stars above this one. That means that these 3 stars above this show soldier means that these 3 crosses, that is a corpse. And you can see how many flags we have. That's the number of divisions. Here I have only 1 division, 1 flag. Here I have 3 divisions and I have 3 flags. But I will definitely not recommend you to use sprites, because when you get used to the counters, it will be much simpler for you to know what is happening where. To be honest, I actually never played with sprites. Never. Maybe I can try. Maybe I can try. I didn't even pay for a... Maybe it is better if you pay for a DLC for those sprite packs, but no. I don't want to pay for that, because I really never use sprites. Counters give me much more information than the unit sprites. No, I really don't like it. If you zoom out, you can see the counters. No, it's not for me. Let's move. Let's see how does it looks. Wow. Speed up a bit. Yeah, I really don't like it. I wonder how will it looks like in Hearts of Iron 4 that is coming quite soon. You can see that my officer ratio is now maximum at 140%. So let's pause the game for a second. I need to lower down my officers, but that means I have to invest my leadership into something else. what? And it is still October 1936, so I cannot research more technologies. Let's invest into spies, because number of free spies have dropped at 25. So let's keep the leadership slider for espionage up. I will get enough spies until the 1937, then I can lower it and invest my leadership into new technologies. And remove those ugly sprites. I don't know how planes looks like when you have sprites. Let's test it out. Let's rebase this airplane. Oh, it was too fast. Let's lower the speed. No, you cannot see planes moving, but if I use counters, let's see how will it look now. Let's try to rebase them. No, you can't see, but you can actually see plane counters on a map if they are traveling the larger distance. By the way, each time you are rebasing your air wings, their organization will drop a bit, especially if they are out of the range. Let's take a look at air map mode. This is the range of the airplanes in this base over here. If I click on this air base here, those planes, you can see the huge range. That's because I have selected a tactical bombers, which have much longer range than interceptors, for example. So quite useful. So if I want to rebase those interceptors, let's unpause the game. If I want to rebase those interceptors out of their range, they will lose a lot of organization. But you can do it, it's not a big deal. Your organization will regain quite fast, especially if you have researched the air doctrine. You can see the fighter ground crew training, interceptor morale, fighter morale, CAG morale. Morale is how fast your units will gain organization. That's morale, and it is quite important. I will say more important than organization by itself. So try, if you have enough leadership, try to rise both morale and organization for all your important divisions, land, ships and everything else. There is one thing that was bothering for some time. What is the difference between interceptors and fighters? Once I thought that this is the same thing, but it's not. Interceptors are interceptors, close range, air anti-air vehicles, and fighters are those over here, multi-role fighters. That is the fighter with a shortcut FTR. Interceptors have shortcut INT, while multi-role fighters are actually fighters and they have a longer range than interceptors. They can serve, they can use, they can do bombing missions and air superiority missions. They're something between interceptors and bombers, so you can use them in many different ways, and they're quite good if you need a much longer range which interceptors cannot cover. I never use multi-role fighters instead of the bombers, because bombers will do a much better job. But let's say, for example, you wanna control, you wanna do air superiority mission over the Great Britain, and you have your interceptors stationed here. Your interceptors have quite low range, and you can control only this southern coast of United Kingdom, but with multi-role fighters you can cover much longer area, and you can control almost half of the Britain only by fighters. So countries that need long-range air superiority should use fighters instead. And fighters are of course much stronger, they have a higher air defense. Let's check that out. Air wing, interceptor, where is the air defense? Air detection, sea attack, strategic, air defense. Interceptors have air defense of 6. Oh, I still do not have a multi-role fighters technology developed, so I cannot build them. But you can see that interceptors have a defense of 6, and multi-role fighters have an even higher defense. So they are harder to destroy. Strategic attack, air attack, sea attack. All important stats are over here. If you ever wondered which type of aircraft should I use for that mission or that mission, always check out the stats. You can even sort it. Let's say you're looking for a unit that have a highest air attack, just click over here and it will sort you all the units by air attack. Let's say you want to bomb something, strategic bombing. Click on that and it will show you which type of aircraft have highest strategic attack number. Currently this is a strategic bomber with strategic attack of 7. Tactical bombers have a good soft attack. Please take a look. Tactical bombers have a soft attack of 7. Close air support 3, interceptor 1, strategic bomber 1. So tactical bombers is great for bombing the infantry divisions because it have a huge soft attack. And for bombing the armor brigades, let's take a look at the hard attack. Hard attack, close air support have 7, whilst tactical bomber have 3, interceptor 0, strategic bomber 0. So never use strategic bombers for attacking armored divisions, because hard attack 0. You will do nothing against enemy tanks with your strategic bomber. For bombing the enemy tanks, close air support have a highest hard attack, 7. And let's say you want to bomb enemy infrastructure, enemy industrial capacity and things like that. Just click on this strategic attack stat and it will sort you all units by strategic attack. You can see that strategic bomber have highest strategic attack of 7. All others, tactical bomber have 2, close air support 0, interceptor 0. So strategic bomber have a huge strategic attack and they are amazingly good for bombing industrial capacity, for bombing infrastructure, for bombing enemy airfields and things like that. I must say how I'm really satisfied with this series, and this is the first Paradox interactive game that I'm recording, and before I started to do it I thought that it is so hard to explain things that I will not be able to do it very well, very good. But now after I have started playing, I think that best way to make some kind of a tutorial is to just play the game and explain the things as you go through the game, because you my viewer, you as a gamer, you will learn much easier like that than if I made one short tutorial where I will explain all different concepts of the game, and it will be really hard for you to understand all that. So I think that this concept of play and learn as you go, as you play. I think it is much better for you, because that way you will adopt all this information much easier. You will see it in a practical way. So I'm doing stuff and showing you and telling you why am I doing those things. I think that it is the best way for you to learn something about the game. We have a more research possible. That means I have to lower down my research slider, and currently I have only 6 technologies in a research, but I'm waiting for next year, 1937. That way I will be able to research all those technologies that are at 1937, 1938 level, so no more than a 1 year ahead of the current time. And that is something that will conclude this video. I hope you did like it. If you did like it, if you was watching until the start to the end, please help me, press that like button down below. Please share the recording around maybe some social networks like Twitter, like Facebook, maybe even some forums. I would really like you to help me, because I currently have only 42 subscribers, and it really kills my motivation to keep on. It really kills me when I'm trying so hard to do something helpful and there is no one who is watching that. I don't have any viewers to interact with, to talk with, to answer your questions. If you have any kind of questions, please write it down below and I will be really happy to answer you, because I need that kind of interaction to stay motivated to keep on. Please guys, help me, share the recording around, interact with me, talk with me, ask me a question, and I will be really happy to reply. Thank you for watching guys. Until the next time, I wish you all the best and bye bye.